through an orifice in the handle. And I'll set this off to the side with the screws. Okay, now that I got that, I'm going to, you can see the ground cable hook up right here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take apart the ground cable so I can start disassembling the test head. Now, I have a M4 ESNA nut up here. And this here should be the only part of the ground cable, unless I had to replace it all, that I'm going to have to take off. Now, I have a star washer right here on the top, because it's a ground cable, and it's going to ground out to this ground bar here.
Right.
So I use the star and I tighten it down in there. There's also a star washer on the bottom on the ground cable hook up here, so that I properly get a connection between the screws and the two ground bars in the ground cable. So I always make sure that I get them together. I'm going to put them all right back on here, and I'll tighten up my screw. And then I'm going to disconnect this bar from the ground cable so that I can pull it through the handle. And they're usually on pretty tight, they're ground cables. And this one here has a pins smashed on the end here so that it fits up in there and it squashes down on the cable itself for a better connection.
And just pull it out of there.
Just pull it right out. Now I can pull the rest of the wiring.
Because now nothing's connected anymore.
Nothing's connected. So I'm going to pull it kind of careful though, because
Yeah, and then
I
try
don't
to,
want the wiring to break.
right, try to lead them through a little bit.
And try to pull them all through kind of like separately, so I see all my connections here. And you can see they sometimes get tangled. So, and I'm looking, I see all my connections still look pretty good. So that takes care of that. Now, I can take this cover off. And that's going to be the screws right here for them. I'll loosen them up. Pull this all out, and there's one complete assembly right there. And I don't have to take anything else apart off of this unless there's something wrong with this cable here that has to be replaced or fixed. Whereas if you have to replace this cable, you can undo the wire grommet here, and you can pull all the wiring through here and replace it with another pigtail. For now, I'll leave this assembly all connected. Now, if you had to replace the lighted switch, you would simply undo this screw right here and this whole assembly.
Probably pops right out of there, huh?
Pops right out like that.
There you go.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in. Let you know how that comes out so you can replace all of that. And the wires just pop in and out. They're a screw. Through the screws here. You unscrew it and you can pull the wire in and change another, put another connector on. So, with that, I have this now. Now, I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to put it right here and pry it just a little bit, and the handle will move forward, and I can pull the handle up and off. Where the handle lines up with these pins right here, and it lines up with these screw holes right here to be attached and disattached. So now I've got that all setting right here. My next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take these assemblies here off. Now, I will leave the plugs in where they're set. And I won't worry about taking those out unless I have to replace this part. Then I'll take the plugs out because I could use them on another part when I get a new part.
Oh, okay.
Once I do that, I am going to, where'd you go? Oh. Well, this is usually a socket head cap screw here. This one was put together with an M3. When I put it back together, I'll get the proper screw for this one. Once I pull that out, here's the clip that holds this wiring down to the side. That through here. And then the home switch cable will slide out through the pocket that it connects to right here. Now the clip holds this spring for a wiring harness, because the movement of the test head there it is. As the test head moves, the clip holds the spring in place. So pay attention to where your wiring harness and stuff are. If you want to, you can take a pen and just put a line on the cable so you know where it was kind of at when you had it.
Okay.
Now,
Like how much cable was actually coming out, right? How much cable was coming out at the
I'm
time,
taking all this apart because I gotta take it all apart
right?
to get to the O-rings to change them. So, now, I wanna do a switch dog. And the switch dog is a switch that makes the home procs. As you can see, the home procs right here in orange, right up here by my finger. The switch here activates when it's in its home position.
Right? So you're really pulling on that too. Don't be bashful, right?
Usually they're not that hard. This one here is a brand new one that we're using to do this. And I'm gonna repair it anyway. So now I take my clip off, which goes pretty much right here at the end of the spring. And then I pull my switch off at the end here, and I will set those right there. And I will get the socket head cap screw that goes to that. Now, if I was going to replace a switch, then I could take this off right here and replace it and put in a new switch. And I'm not. This one here is set up for a shorter test head, but if I go an inch longer right here, that would make this probably 8 inches long from here to, oh no, make it 8 inches long from here to here for the cambion where it connects right here. And then the switch itself is 16 inches from the switch to where it's connected. And I just trim off a little bit here, which gets soldered together. And it shows you the solder joints are going to be brown and blue. And I solder them to socket and pin. I hope we did it right. He's got blue here to socket. There's socket right here. See the socket end of the switch? If I follow this down, it should be on the blue wire. And there it is. And that's soldered together there. And that's for the wiring diagram. So now I got this right here. Now I'm going to take the cover guard off. And this will slide off over the top of this too.